What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to Atlas Theory. We have a guild interview today with our special guest, MMA Gaming. How are you guys doing today?
Really well, thank you, man, and thanks for taking the time to speak in for us.
Of
I guess
course.
I'll kick it off and give everybody a little bit of an intro about
Sure.
us. So,
Yeah.
we are MMA Gaming. We're a
Hmm.
multi-game guild based on the Solana network. Today, we've got myself, Brad, or Dark Sweep 21 from MMA that's used to seeing the username, and Tilquin from our Gaming Ops team.
Yes. Hi guys.
Glad to have you guys here. So let's start up. What does MMA Gaming stand for? And kind of like what are the basic I guess tenets, or goals of your guild?
So, MMA stands for Metaverse Mining Alliance.
Hmm.
Quite a wordy name, so we've obviously cut it down to MMA, even though there's parallels with a certain sport and stuff. So
Sure.
try to focus on the games. We are a guild. We've been around now. We first founded our core team in about September last year. Some of us have been working together before that in other P2E games, such as Axie, as part of a smaller team.
Okay.
But we came together as a big network of guys to start the project in about September time. We formally launched in December. And over that time, we've kind of grown our team out, and we're really lucky. We found some phenomenally passionate individuals and gamers to join us on the way, such as Tuquin, who I'll let him give himself a little intro, as he's one of our gaming specialists.
Yes. So I joined the project. From the beginning, I was just an investor in the project, and over the time, when I got more and more ambitious about the project in itself, and I nudged over who I was and what my achievements were in gaming, MMA itself became interested as well in having me on and the team. So right now I'm officially employed with MMA as well, and I'm part of the Star Atlas team. So I work with Brad and a few others to look at all the assets and derive strategies, theory craft on the whole game itself, what it eventually can be. And as you can see in my background, huge fan of spaceships, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
So going off that, I just out of curiosity, what are like maybe your top few games that have perhaps space themed that have kind of prepared to or got you excited about Star Atlas?
Oof. I think I'll answer this one, Brad.
100%. Yeah, this is a question for you.
So the spaceship you see in the back here is one from Star Citizen. So that immediately gives away one of the games that I'm looking at and hoping that one day Star Atlas can achieve the same level of detail, depth, and exploration to it. So very important. And then the other one in the strategic kind of sense, which has been talked on with our team in regards to the launch of Scream, will be Stellaris, since the very first iteration will most likely be a game that has the allurance of a grand strategy game, with the resource collecting, management, building structures, conquering planets for resources, doing combat to protect territory and stuff like that. So it ties in 100% with these kind of games. So if there were two that I needed to pick, those two would be my go-to choice.
I love it. Very nice. I haven't jumped into Star Citizen yet, but I've been looking at it. It's I've been watching some streams and some YouTube content. It looks really very, very fun.
It is wild.
So let's go back now to MMA Guild as a whole. Kind of give us maybe what you guys do and where you're planning to go with the guild.
So we're really lucky with the way that we've structured our guild, in the sense that we've got a couple of different things going on in the meantime. I guess the most long-standing and exciting, because I've been involved in it, is our scholarship or disciple model for players. And it's something that, in the context of this conversation, we're really hopeful in the future we'll be able to do with Star Atlas. So one of the games that we've been in, as everybody seems to have been now forever, is Axie. We built up a pretty large scholar base. At one point, we managed to get over 1,000 players playing by offering, a really good competitive rate and stuff. And that as a journey has been a really impressive learning curve for both us and the players, right? That game, it really showed us the potential for how people can do something they love and earn at the same time, right?
Right.
We've really taken that to heart. And in recent times, we've had other similar-ish games such as Crabada come around, and that's shown us again, that's another game, even in these turbulent times, there's still opportunities for people to earn and do something that they enjoy and make the most of it, right? And then obviously these kind of games, they're all pretty rudimentary and simple, right? In terms of like what they actually are as a product. I've got a lot of time for those kind of strategic games, but you know, I've always got my eye on the other side of the room, kind of thinking, what's the limit of this? And then here we are, you know, we're all looking at Star Atlas and thinking, no matter what kind of perspective you're looking at, this could be something that takes those principles of people learning and enjoying from a business point of view, and wow, doing it with something that's just spectacular in scale and fun. It really could be one of the biggest jumps in gameplay development we see in tens of years. It's a fantastic opportunity.
Awesome. I love it, guys. Now, I was on your website and I came across the text, "We play, you earn." If I was starting off in Star Atlas or just wanted to join the MMA like ecosystem, like where would I start with everything? Like, what are my options?
So with MMA, you've kind of got we've got a few different routes of how you can become involved in MMA. I'll get the more boring formal one out of the way, right? So we do have a token and stuff, which obviously with a token in the future, you'll be able to interact with our DAO and all that kind of rudimentary stuff. It's effectively like to own, make sure it's a community-driven project. The two other ways that people can, and probably the more coming from a community ops guy, fun ways to get involved with us is join us and play a game with us. And quite now, we've only really got a few games that are actually live. However, in the future, we've currently got assets and teams working on Star Atlas, as we are going to go into, but also really exciting projects like Nyan Heroes, Aurori, projects such as Ascenders, really intriguers, and a few other ones, right? So right now, I think one of the best ways for everybody who's looking to get into the game, so by no means just us, the best way to hop in is to join a Discord and find a community of people you want to speak to, and find some people that are just as excited about these games as we are, and loads of other people across the space, right? There's so many good communities out there.
Definitely. No, I'm having such a great time getting to, interview guilds and meet new people in the community. Now let's talk about Star Atlas and perhaps the more like in-game route that you guys will take. You mentioned building out these game loops of mining. How far are you going to take that? Is it just mining and selling the resources, or are you going to go through the whole?
We're looking at the whole broad spectrum of whatever the game is going to or whatever we'll be able to do in the game exactly. So will it be territory conquering, be dogfighting, be mining, be building, be just basically do what you do in any sort of MMO kind of game. So we'll obviously have assets from the guild. If people want to join the guild and play with assets of the guild, that's possible, but we also welcome players who have their own assets and just look for a place to call home. And since we're aligned with the Oni faction, we already have established some very great friends with other guilds and have opened the spectrum of what Oni is capable of. So we have formed some alliances there. So that's also fun to know. So we can go out, scout some regions, defend each other, work together, and trying to build something for the Oni faction and being a prominent force for the Oni faction. So
I just had to ask, what drew you guys to the Oni faction?
Well, this is a really interesting thing because there was crunch time, right? Back in the day when you're having to decide, the clock's ticking down and you've got to pick a faction. I immediately, due to the stealth-orientated mechanics and that kind of stuff, I was really drawn to Oni. However, when I was looking at the data in those last few hours to see what kind of how many people have got that, how many people have done this, I was really thinking, I don't know, because there's so many. As you start to see other people stick their flag in the ground, as it were, and say, this is what we're going to do. I'll give an example with the Nomads. The Metaverse Nomads came out very early, to the point of applying a bit of pressure on me that I was thinking, do we do the same? Do we do something different? But what it was is it's that kind of, as you start to interact on Discord, Twitter, the concept of using that technology and being part of those communities was the thing that appealed to us most, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, like when it came down to it, that's kind of the community consensus at the time, and yeah, it just kind of felt right, really.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can kind of take inspiration from the kind of like, what do you enjoy in those kind of worlds before, right? And
Right.
speaking for myself only, that kind of stealth and that kind of angle, I just thought that's what I want to do as a person. That's what I'm going to push for, and well, here we are. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was aligned with Oni prior to joining MMA, in fact. So what drove me towards Oni is, of course, the stealth part, but also the diplomacy part, because I think with the bonus on diplomacy and the whole Polus and back style build-up style they are doing, it's going to provide an interesting angle to see what we can do and how far we can push this diplomacy.
That's very true. Yeah, having that whole like regional power and that influence with Polis is going to be huge. So that boost in diplomacy, I'm sure will serve you well. That's awesome. Yeah, I have a wallet. Confession time. Don't be like me. Those of you guys who are watching. Because it won't help. But I have a wallet in every faction because I'm like, this is such a hard choice. Like, and at heart, I'm a role player and I'll probably make content like that too. So I'll probably end up having a character based in each, but it's such a hard choice when you're coming down to like the guild and the DAC level to make that final decision.
The funny thing is we actually had a conversation a while back, like, because if you look at how they released the ships in schedule, we weren't aware on what manufacturer was tied to which faction. So you just had to buy what was available on the marketplace. And I think we all had the idea of like, this is it. This is the whole list of ships that's going to be released for now.
Yeah.
And potentially everything else will have to be built inside the game or something like that. So we just bought a whole bunch of ships left and right and center. And when we were evaluating our asset pool, we came up with the conclusion that we literally have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So then obviously comes the question, what are we going to do since we're dead center only? Are we going to open up the doors and slide a little bit into mud, or slide a little bit in Uster, or be only as a main faction but still cater the other two? So that's a difficult question to answer, and to some extent we have an answer to it.
Okay.
And to some extent we are still entertaining outcomes to that question. So it's not set in stone yet, to be fair, but it's very much a very entertaining question.
Yeah. No, that makes me really curious too, because like, especially in mining, because each faction has like its own resources or its own unique resources that either that's the question, like, do you build your own or do you make big alliances? So I'll be looking forward to see what you guys do with all that.
That's the grand strategy part of it, right?
Yeah. So for those watching now and hearing about MMA and checking out the website, guys, if you're watching, everything is in the description. Go follow along. But who are you looking for? Do you have a target player, or is it like, just come on, guys? Yeah.
The kind of people we're looking for is that this has been our attitude for a long time, but it's only been amplified more after watching the Copper and seeing how everybody's really set out their stalls, and the kind of people we're looking for. And we are working on a formal, almost, I wouldn't call it a recruitment process, but a progression strategy for people who want to take these kind of titles very seriously and invest a lot of skill and effort into it, right? I think the fact is, even though despite the financials involved, and we do have a lot of assets, and we do have a lot of like power behind it, the kind of people we're looking for are people that want to actually progress with us, right? And come on a journey with us. Because the truth is, and I think it's the most fun part of Star Atlas, and me and Tilquin spent a long time just before this call, even just talking about this one thing, is there's so many possibilities. And the truth is, we don't really know what kind of roles and specifics are going to be going on in the game. So we don't really want to go out there and say we want to get an ace fighter pilot. So if you've got experience in these games right now, come and do this. The kind of people we're looking for are people that are open-minded, want to progress with us and want to help us as a community really exceed in terms of technical excellence and push the pencil out. And we really want to keep that really open, because there will be people listening to this and people in the future that, whether they're how they want to treat it and what they want to do, they might not know, but they might be looking for a home because they're interested in the project and they want to thrive, right? And we're looking for anybody that's aspirational and wants to take part. I feel like there's a lot of people that have done a really fantastic job. If we go back and watch the copper, that have, like, if you know what you want, there's lots of places for you to go. But if you're still making your mind up and you're just excited by the possibilities, well, we'd love to have you, because we're just ready for the journey.
Awesome. Yeah,
We're
the journey.
Sorry, no, you go.
No, it's like the journey is, you know, everything. These are going to be like the stories that we tell, you know, in like 10 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, it's really cool to like just join a community and become like just grow with it. So guys, if you're interested, how do they join your guild?
The quickest way is to join our Discord. We've got I had a lot of channels for different stuff, but if you're new, you can always just join and pop a message in general, and we can help you find the right place. Or you can scroll down and find communities, not just for Star Atlas, but for lots of titles, even just general discussions and stuff. There's a lot of different subsections, and we're very open to lots of languages. Specifically, I'll say English, Filipino, French. Would you say, Tilquin? We've got speakers.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make any promises we don't have, but those, if you speak one of those kind of tongues, you're more than happy to. I think there'll be a place for you and people to talk to. And that's kind of it, right? Because one day after watching the Copper and then doing a show on Sunday and watching Tilquin, I had this inclination. I really want to watch some YouTube videos on Star Citizen about fighter pilots. I'm really interested in this. I'm just fascinated. But then I see the announcement about the next town hall, and I see that the Spearsoft announcement, and then all of a sudden I'm in a frenzy. I want to go watch some Stellaris gameplay because that excites me. You know, there's just so much to be excited about. That doesn't matter what role you're after. There's a journey to be had, and we've got a place for you.
I love that. Is there anything else you'd like to share? I don't know if you want to go into the future of MMA too much, or like alpha, or is there anything you'd like to share to the people watching about MMA, the MMA Guild?
What do you think would be the best thing? Yeah.
What can we share?
That's it, right?
I know. That's it. Yeah.
There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff going on with our guild, and I think one of the most exciting things we are building right now is one thing that Dark Swoop just said, actually, and that's the progression system within our guild. Like I said before, even if you don't have assets of you, or you have the assets of your own, we're basically just looking for gamers, people who like to play games, who are passionate about playing games, and want to join a great community where we do play P2E games, but also legacy games. So it doesn't matter what kind of gameplay you're into or what kind of games you're into. We just try to capture passionate gamers. And via that platform, we thought, like, how can we make sure that those passionate gamers who are also very highly skilled gamers can progress within our ranks? And then we are in the phases of creating some sort of progression system through the guild, where you start playing with us, and then eventually, if there becomes a possibility that esports will develop in play to earn games or whatever, or any other circuit, you might one day be asked to join a team of highly skilled gamers for MMA and take part in that way. Or if you, for instance, like to teach stuff and you're very good at explaining stuff, recording stuff, and pinpointing the problems or the solutions to problems, and like to help people progress in their games, we like to create the pathway for that as well, because ultimately you have a goal of self-development, but also a goal of helping a community and seeing other people progress via the content you are providing within a guild. Of course, you can do this on your own YouTube channels and whatever. It's not like it all has to be 100% strictly MMA. It can be powered by MMA. So That's something
100%.
completely different. But there are many more steps to the whole process we are building. I'm not going to explain them all because it will take a long time to get through all of them. But it's just the basics to share, like what we are trying to capture within our gaming community, gaming guild.
It's exactly that. Like, I think the best way to put it is we're looking to help people create some magic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're sat there and you're thinking, you know, I've always wanted to make a YouTube channel, but I haven't got any ships in Star Atlas, but the game interests me, but I need a home to really kickstart this. I really think that we could help each other there.
Yep.
I love
Because
that.
ultimately, that's the one thing you can't buy, right? You can have all the ships in the world, but you can't buy passion.
True.
And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that love the game and want to be involved in it.
I love that, guys. Oh man, if this sounds like you and you're watching, go check out MMA. Before we wrap up, a little bit of a fun question. What's your favorite ship and why? So far, at least.
You go first, Brad. I don't want to repeat the answers of people that I've heard ask this question recently, but I the C11.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I have this obsession.
Sounds.
No, you know what the thing I love the most about is whenever you see any of the smaller ships, you know, when we look at our fleet inventory, Tolkien will go through and explain his amazingly cool choices that I'm sure that will be a lot more grandiose than mine, right? But sometimes when you look at the inventory and you look at these, like, total amount of them comes to over like $1 million or $2 million, and then they're so expensive, and you naturally want to go, I love that one because it's this and it's powerful and it's going to be able to have impact. But what I actually like is every once in a while we get treated to a ship that's $15. And it just reminds you that actually this isn't just a game like some of the other P3 games that we've seen historically, where to get involved you need $2,000, $5,000 to start. There is stuff there that's $15. This is not just a project for the masses and the rich. This is a project that hopefully most people who want to can be involved in. And I kind of feel like sometimes that's kind of what ties me to ground and makes me realize how accessible this project is, while at the same time still having those options. It really does cater to every audience and everyone's wants and wishes, right? So maybe an air bike.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Yeah, mine is more like, obviously I can name probably all the capital ships because size, power, status, you can name whatever you want with that. But since I'm more like a PvP kind of guy, I like to look at the fighters. And my stuff, or one of the ships I like the most, since we're also Oni, and I was very happy to see the designs pop up of the Ogrika Mick.
Yes.
Because that one looks very, very cool. Very cool. And I'm very curious as well, because I would like to know how nimble it is, how fast it is, what are the turning speeds of that ship, what size of guns do they have, what type of guns are those ballistic or lasers or whatever. So I'm looking for this momentum you can create with this small ship whilst you're going combat. Like everyone, I'd like to presume that almost everyone knows one of those epic scenes from Star Wars where you have the great Star Destroyers flying against the Corvette classes from the Republics. And you see all these X-Wings and these TIE fighters fighting each other. Like, I want to be that guy. I want to be like in front line of the action and sitting in my cockpit, fighting off the bad guys, doing those sick kind of moves, driving and thrusting around the galaxy, to say so. But with a small fighter also comes the allurance of being an elite warrior, a skilled pilot. So it caters to two sides of the pendulum there, and I like that a lot. Like, you have the power and the responsibility of protecting or fighting off something else, but also the noblesse of being a potentially elite fighter pilot.
Yeah, no, I love that explanation. Like, ever since I was young, watching, like you mentioned, Star Wars, it's like I want to be in one of those battles. But so I'm like really looking forward to that, you know, in Star Atlas. Well, guys, I have to say have to say thank you for coming on. It was awesome to get to know the MMA Guild a little bit more. I'd love to have you on again sometime. Maybe we can find
Anytime,
a
man.
discussion.
Anytime.
Absolutely, man. It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Well, those of you watching, thank you. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Links for MMA Guild down in the description. Go say hi, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.